Hello nieces, hello nephews, it's your Uncle Charles here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we do unbiased price action analysis. The S&P 500 yet again put in another green day, another close higher. Let's see on the daily chart, guys. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles all closing higher than the previous day. Is more upside in play for the SPY? It's possible, but we're gonna have to talk about the levels and setups if we're gonna get more upside or if we're gonna get more downside. We must know how to react and be prepared. Okay, as far as how the trading did go, I did not make a video yesterday because it was overall a chop day. I didn't want to make a repetitive video from the weekend video. If you recall from the weekend video, I mentioned we want to get bullish above 436 and bearish below 433 because 436 was the next resistant level that showed selling pressure there, and 436 was based on my 1-year trend line as well as a fib level. All right, and I mentioned that we recaptured the 1-year trend line. In order for it to cancel, it would have to drop below 433, and bullish follow through would have been a pop above 436. The plan was the same, so I didn't make a video yesterday. It overall chopped. 433 was not lost. 436 was not cleared. However, 436 did clear today. Now, before I talk about how I traded today, I want to talk about how I traded yesterday. It was not a green day for me yesterday. It was actually a red day. Uncle Charles, I had a support level at 434.5. Uncle Charles shorted that support level, targeting the 433 level. As you guys can see, that trade setup did not work for me. The reason why I shorted this 433 level or 434.5 breakdown, the reason why I shorted that breakdown was because I had the 436 level up here. As you guys can see, we had 1, 2 cases of selling pressure, almost a double top, and then that led to a breakdown of my 434.5 level. Based on my trading system, that was a good trade. I entered it and it did not work out. All right, and then it ended up giving us a false breakdown setup. Uncle Charles became a victim of the trap. I did cut my loss, so I'm very proud of myself for that. Now, I did try to play the false breakdown setup, and I told myself I was going to wait for a back test of 434.5 as support to look for calls. And as you guys can see, at the end of the day, yesterday, it did not give me the entry I was looking for, and I ended up ending the day red. Okay, one thing I did good yesterday, despite being a red day, was I stuck to my trading system. And a lot of times, sometimes, you know, you make all the right decision and you still end up red. I ended up losing a little over $200. It was my first red day in quite some time. All right, now I wasn't too happy, but you know, I reset, I rested, and entered today with a fresh mindset. And I wrote in my Discord, you know, bull case, bear case. I wrote in the bull case, staying above 434.5 and 433 lowers is a good sign for bulls, but defense isn't enough. For bullish fall through, the breakout of 436 is needed. The bear case, I wrote it has to lose 433. You guys can see here, remember, it's not prediction, just looking to react. As you guys can see here, boom, broke out 436. And it, you know, gave us a nice pop to the outside, hitting my next target at 437.5. This was written early this morning with 437.5 as one of my upside targets. We play it level to level. I entered calls on the 436 breakout, took profits at 437.5. I think I posted my gains. Did I post my gains? Yeah, I posted my gains, you know, made a 30% gain. So I was able to recover from my loss from yesterday and made some interest. Okay, so this is a message to all the people out there. Respect your stop loss. It's okay if you have some, you know, some misses and some losses, but it's never okay to not respect your stop loss. You got to respect your stop loss, recover, reset, and stick to your trading system. Okay. But yeah, it worked out. And as you guys can see, we hit that 437.5 level, and it is basing just under it. Test it, rejection, test it, rejection, test it, rejection. But none of the rejection were strong enough to break down a support level to give us that false breakout setup. Okay, we based under the 436 level for 2 trading days, Friday and Monday, and it led to a breakout. Now we are basing under the 437.5 level. You got to understand the difference between price acceptance and price rejection. Price rejection, we get a clear rejection and it's strong enough to break down on support. Now, clearly yesterday, that strategy did not work out for me. But, these are high accuracy trades, not 100% accurate trades. You get what I mean? Sometimes not going to work out. But in best practice, we want to trust the rejection from resistance when it can break down a support level. And also that support level is at 436. And if that fails, that would, of course, be a false breakout setup. And what do we do when we get a false breakout setup? We enter puts, okay? But that's price rejection. It rejects from resistance and is strong enough to break down support. Now, price acceptance is a little different. It will reject from resistance, but it's not strong enough to break down support. It tests it and come back and tested it like a magnet. Like a magnet. Now, think about it. If you hit a door, it's not going to break right away unless you're strong like Superman. But the more you hit that door is going to get weaker. And the longer you hit that door is going to eventually get weaker and it's going to break. So in that metaphor, that's how the 437.5 level is. It's how the 436 level was. And then it finally broke above. The door finally caved in. Now for tomorrow, can the door cave in at 437.5? If it does, guys, if it clears 437.5, you want to look to long. That's a sign of more upside with 439. 440.2, that's the next fib level. Those will be in play. 442, okay, there was 440.2, and then there's 442, and then the critical level at 443.5. 443.5 is a critical level because it would be the third test of my blue trend line, and that's where the bears will likely be waiting to make their move, okay? If we can get more upside, if we break out 437.5 tomorrow, then those higher targets would be possible, okay? That's the bull case scenario, and obviously above 437.5 would be a breakout of this trend line, and that would be bullish as well, okay? But it won't be possible unless we break out 437.5 tomorrow. Now, as far as the bear case scenario goes, you saw on a small time frame how it struggled and based under that 436 level before breaking out. So obviously it was a strong sell zone, and then when it broke out, around 12 o'clock, 12:30, it tested that sell zone as a buy zone. So we're switching roles. 436 went from resistance to support, okay? And then it bounced up to 437.5. So with that in mind, we want to get bearish if 436 fails, okay? That is a bearish warning sign. A false breakout setup, but a bearish warning sign for the shorter term, okay? Now, that would put 434.5 and 433 in play, all right? If 433 fails, the recapture of my one-year trend line is canceled and would be extremely, extremely bearish and likely push us back down to the 420s, all right? Likely put us back down to the 420s, but we play it level to level. Below 433, I have 431.5, 430 gap fill, 428.5, 38.2 fib level, 427 and lower in play, okay? Bear case scenario starts with the loss of 436. That's a bearish warning, but bears will take back control below 433 because that cancels the recapture of my 1 year trend line. Okay, you guys got the bull case. Look to long above 437.5 if it clears. And you got my bear case. If 436 and 433 fails, that's bearish. You want to look to short, all right? Triple Q is in breakout mode. You guys see this wedge pattern, this blue wedge pattern? Back in late October, we had a false breakdown setup that triggered a beautiful move to the upside. And now we got a breakout, all right? For more upside, Triple Q must stay above 370.5 on any pullback, all right? On any pullback. Resistance is at 373.5. Okay, this support at 372 and 370.5 must stay above those support level. And if it breaks out 373.5 tomorrow, we are heading up higher. We are likely heading up higher, up to 375 to 376 zone with 378 and 380 above that. If you want to get bearish, you got to wait for the false breakout setup. If it breaks back below 370.5, that's when you want to look to short. 369, 367, 365 would be back in play. Below 365 would be a sign that we're going to get a deeper sell-off. Okay, guys? IWM, while QQQ and SPY was bouncing, IWM wasn't really participating. But if it wants to bounce up, it lost that 172 level. Got to recapture 172 and clear 174. If it does, we can get more upside. 176, 178, and 179.4 would be in play. If it stays below 172, that's overall bearish. Next support is at 170 and 167.4. Those levels fail, we're going to go down a lot lower. Tesla has an inside daily candle. We're going to keep this simple. The chop range is 226.3 down to 215. That is an $11.32 range. I know, but Tesla is a volatile stock, but that is the chop range. All right? It's around 222 right now. If it breaks above 222 and 224, the next resistance is at 225.5 and 226.3. Above 226.3, I would be bull bias and favor a lot more upside. Okay? Now, if we want to get bearish, there's support at 220, 218.3, 217, and 215. Loss of 215 is the main level that bears must lose to trigger a deeper sell-off going a lot lower. Below 240, 211.40, I would definitely be bear bias as well. Apple, we are in breakout mode. It broke out this wedge yesterday and it showed follow through today. Critical resistance is at 183. If that clears, more upside is in play. 185, 186.5 would be targets. All right, if we want to get bearish, we got to get that false breakout, guys. Got to break down support. Starting with 181, 179.3, and a back test of the wedge is at 177. All right, bulls must defend 177 on any pullback, because if that's lost, we got a false breakout setup, and that will be very bearish, putting lower targets back in play. NVDA, multiple green updates, but it's starting to look a little weak here, okay? Now, another test of my blue trend line is at 464.6s, all right? If bulls can clear that, I'll be surprised if they do, but if bulls can clear that, that will be extremely bearish, breaking out my blue trend line, heading up high to 468, probably 470.5. Let's see what I have here. 476 would be a critical resistant level based on a previous pivot high, all right? But it'll need to clear 465 to trigger more upside to get a lot higher, okay? Before 465, though, I have 459. It's around 459.6. So next resistance at 461, 463, and then up to 465, all right? Above 465 would be extremely bearish. Now, support is at 459, 457, 455, 453.5, 452, and 450.5. All right, you play it level to level. You guys got my levels. Please add them to your charts. But the big level that needs to fail is 450.5 if you are bearish. Below that, I would be bear bias and favor more downside. Microsoft continues to melt up higher, okay? 357.5 is the critical support level. That's a fib level. If that level is lost, that's the best time to get bearish, and we can get more downside back down to 356, 354.5, 353, and 351.5. Below 351.5, we might get a deeper sell-off, okay? But to trigger the bear case, we need to lose 357.5. Resistant level right now is around 360, okay? So resistant levels at 361 and 362.5. If those levels clear, we are likely heading up higher or melting up higher. Okay. I got 364 as a resistant level, 365.5 and 367 as next targets above. AMD is in breakout mode. It cleared the yellow trend line and a breakout fib level. Okay. As long as above 113, I would stay bullish on AMD. Breakout of 115 would trigger more upside. Put it 117.6, 120 or 121.5 in play. Okay, you want to get bearish, it needs to break back below 111.5. These are my new updated levels based on this trend line. Below 111.5 would give us a false breakout setup. Put in 109.2, 108.2, 106, and 105 back in play, okay? All right, let's end this with the dark pool. This is 435.5 is where most of the dark pool levels are at 1.1 billion in premium, okay? As long as above that dark pool level, we are bullish. Below it, we could potentially be bearish. SPY will filter for 500K premiums or above, so it's overall bearish right now. Let's see if it'll be right. QQQ is overall bearish. IWM is bullish. That's weird. Tesla is bullish. Apple is bullish. NVDA is bullish. Let's see, Microsoft, bullish. And AMD is bullish. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more content from Uncle Chartist and trade, let's make this money together in Uncle's Discord. Definitely consider joining. Other than that, have a great evening. Peace.